All right, so I'm going to be breaking down my trading week so far. It has not gone as sexy as I would have hoped it would. In fact, it's gone so unsexy, I'm going to have to do the little thumbnail right now. Okay, that'll be the thumbnail for the video. Let's get right into it. So this is where my current trades sit right here. $17,000 in current P&L on 2 trading opportunities that I've in. And earlier in this week, we've just had consecutive loss after, I guess not consecutive, but we've had losses and wins. I'm sitting down currently about break even on the week. These are on all the trades that I've taken. Break even on the day. So minus like 15K on the day. And on the week, I am down. I posted it here in my free Telegram channel. I'll put the link in the description. I've been running it for free for 7 years. I just post all my trades in there so you can follow along. And I posted in here this morning. So this is the current week right here. So down $40,000 in the week. I risk anywhere from $20,000 to $50,000 per trade. So this is pretty much down like 1 unit of R. And you can see I've got some wins. I've got some losses in here. So this trading week, I've taken a couple trades that didn't work out. What I want to do is I want to look at some of the trades that didn't work out to see if we could have done anything differently. The short answer is no. There's nothing I would have done differently. All these trades were fine. So the first one here, we're just going to start from last night. I took a sell on GBP Canadian dollar. I sold here at this zone. Why? Because it is just a daily resistance zone. I had a stop loss above and a target below. This one spiked up and hit the stop loss. And then, hint, hint, I'm in a trade right now. We're going to talk about those in a second. I'm in a short position. That one's about halfway to the profit target. So that was GBP CAD. Do I regret it? No. Is there anything I would have done differently? No. Trading is a matter of just taking the trades that present themselves as they present themselves, and you just take them, and then if they win, they win, and if they lose, they lose. The whole idea is just to try to make a little bit more on your winners than you lose on your losers long term. So for me, I've got zero qualms with this. So not every trade's going to work out. I accept it. That was GBP CAD. Now, we've also got ADCAD, which is a current trade I'm in. We've got a couple trades setting up this week. Let's go to EuroGBP. This was a trade that won. I got into this trade last week, and that went sideways, so I ended up getting out around break even. Then I re-entered yesterday, and we finally got the move into profit. It came down here right close to the profit target, and I ended up closing up right there at that profit target. And you can see my dogs are going crazy right now. We've got some people coming in right now. So what had happened is I re-entered, and this ended up falling down to the profit target. This is when it was open this morning, when it was really close to the target. It was almost a $50,000 winner. So that one right there, almost at the profit target, and it is what it is. It was a pretty nice trade. What was the reason for this trade? The reason was a sell at a resistance zone in the daily chart. That's it. That's the whole reason. I entered a sell up here. It was around this zone. My stop loss was above. My target was below. And it went, the target was right there, and I closed just before the target as it started to reject because I thought it might not be hitting the target. It literally almost came to the target, like barely, and then I called that I'm closing it right here. You can see I'm closing EuroGBP right here this morning. You can see I closed it right there, close to the target. You can see all my entries scattered right here. The original entries were higher. Closed those, and I think it was like a small profit, break even, whatever. Then I re-entered after it started coming off the zone. That one fell into a nice little profit. Would have made $70,000 had I held the original trades, and instead I ended up making $50,000 on those from where it was at. So it ended up making back a lot of the losses. We had some losses on NZD USD. Let's go ahead and look at NZD USD. NZD USD was a very, very simple trade. It wasn't really anything too crazy. Wasn't really anything too wild. And here's what had happened. So NZD USD got into this support zone right here. And what I did as soon as it got into this daily support zone, you can see it's an area that's pretty clear. Right, it bounced right here, broke below, found resistance twice, broke back above, bounced to support again, and it came back. I thought it might just be bouncing right there. So I entered a buy. My stop loss was below this zone, and my target was up here at a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio. So the trade was structured something like this. You can see right here that it broke below the zone, and it resulted in a loss. So I'm going to show you where I originally called this trade out at. Let's go find it here. So I'm closing NZD USD here on break even on the basket of trades. Let's just go ahead and look right here because it's easy to see it right here. So I'm closing NZD USD. Where is it at? It's right here. Okay, here we go. NZD USD. So you can see I bought down here, and it started to bounce. And then as it started to bounce and go up, it went into profit initially, But then after it went into profit, it started pulling back, broke above the highs, and then right here where it came back to test this little support resistance zone here in the lower time frames. This is the 4 hour. I just added to the trade after it started to bounce, and then I moved the stops for the original positions up into profit on those. You can see the stop losses were there. This is about maybe a $10,000 profit. And then I put this risk right here for a $25,000 risk. So if this would have continued to the final target, I would have made like $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 on it. That didn't work out. It broke that zone, and this is where I ended up closing it. So you can see I lost 7,000 on those 2 entries that lost, and on the 2 that won, it was about a maybe $11,000 profit. So net, I roughly broke even on this, even after swaps and fees, commissions. It was negative $4,000 is what I ended up down on that one. So I'd call that pretty much a break even when the original risk is like $25,000 to $50,000. So that was NZD USD, and I'm out of this trade now. It is what it is. I had my original entries here. It went up. It looks like this would have ended up playing out. It looks like it, yeah. So it looks like it looked like it was going to break, but then it just spiked back up, and it would have gone up even further into profit. But even then, I still probably would have been getting out of that here today. So this one I ended up being wrong about it. It worked out. It would have gone a little bit further. We don't know if it'll get to the final target. We'll have to see. Only time will tell. Now, another one over here, if we're going and we're looking at these, let's go here to the actual trading group. I call this. I'll put a link in the description if you want to follow this. This is a Discord server where I call all my trades live. You can just follow it. I've been running it for like 2 years. Very, very simple trades. Now, this was GBP NZD. So I took a sell on GBP NZD, and we're going to go and look at that right now. So GBP NZD on the daily chart, you can see that we're sitting here at a resistance zone. So right here, I had the zone marked up like this. This is where I thought it was going to drop. And whenever we're going to the lower time frames, what I thought it was going to do is I thought that here at this little resistance zone where price was at, I guess we'll just extend this a little bit to account for the recent highs up there. We broke out of this little uptrend structure right here. So I do not use trend lines, but I do use support resistance. And so this was the zone I had marked right here. We broke below that, and then we retested. We started to reject, so I entered a short position. So I entered a sell position. Entry is right there. The stop was just above the recent highs, and the target was a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. It was a small risk. When I ended up painting all these wicks right here, going to the upside, what ended up happening is I ended up just closing this right here. And whenever I closed it, it ended up resulting in a small loss. And what sucks about this is that it went very close to the profit target before it ended up reversing. Look at how close it came. That was my original entries, and that was the stop loss right there. And here was the take profit. So what I ended up doing is I entered a sell position there. It went almost to the profit target for about a $10,000 profit. It ended up spiking up again, and then I closed it there halfway to the loss. So the loss on this was like, let us see. So 5,000, 5,000, 3,000. So this was like $15,000 of risk because I'd added to that. I added a little bit more volume to that. So yesterday at that point, that was a negative $25,000 day. So these are some of the trades that I've taken last week. This is where I added back into EuroGBP. I already discussed this earlier. I had been in a short position from last week. I've already covered in a YouTube video, and then I just added back into it. These both went into profit, almost hit the profit target. And I closed here at pretty much the profit target for almost $50,000 of profit. So let's discuss the 2 trades that I'm in right now. Very, very simple trades. They look really sexy. I've risked a lot of money on these trades, so we're kind of hoping these play out here. Risked $50,000 on one of them, and I've risked $35,000 on the other. So the first one right here is AUD CAD. This is the one that I currently have $50,000 of risk on. I have the most volume here on this trade. I've entered a short position up at this resistance zone, and it's somewhere in this resistance zone. And then if price starts bouncing in here, then I'll make a profit. My profit target's right here at this recent low, so it's really not far. And my entries are right up here, and my stop loss is a 1-to-1, right? So the trade looks more or less something like this. When we go and look at my actual trade terminal here, you can see this is my actual entry. It's a daily chart. You can see my sells are right there at that daily resistance zone. Very, very plain and simple. There's no pyrotechnics. There's no mental gymnastics. There's no Wagyu beef bullish institutional order block liquidity flow candles. None of that. It's just a sell at a resistance zone. That's it. Stop loss above the zone and target below. You can see my target's right there at that recent low from yesterday. It's just a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. The way I structure trades is I enter at the zones. I put my stop loss above the zone and my target at the recent lows. And that's what I took this trade for. So we'll see where this goes. We're going to see how it plays out today and tomorrow. It might win, might lose. GBP CAD is the same sort of thing. You'll remember I sold here last night at this zone. It ended up going up here and stopping out for almost $50,000 of loss. And then all I did today is once it got into this resistance zone, I already had this marked up on my chart and I had an alert. Well, guess what? Crazy as it sounds, I sold at the resistance zone. The target is right here around this zone, like just before right here, and the stop loss is just above the zone. This has a $35,000 risk, and I'm going to show you what this looked like where I called it. GBP CAD, where are we at? Here, I'm back in a sell GBP CAD this morning at around 8 a.m. So this is what it looked like. And you can see there's my original zone where I sold off of, stopped out, went further, and then I just sold when I got here to this resistance zone. Stop loss above, target at a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio, and a $35,000 risk. So if this wins, I'll make $35,000. If it loses, I'll lose $35,000. It's going to suck if both of these lose because I'm going to lose $85,000. However, if they both win, then I will make around $80,000 to $85,000 depending, because we got charged swaps and fees today. So this like the holding fees for swaps on Wednesdays are higher. So I paid a couple $1,000s in holding fees today, but still they're in profit, $17,000 of profit, $20,000 of profit right now. If these go further into profit, I will make back everything that I'm currently down on this week of this $40,000 week, and I will come out in profit if they win. There's also some more trading opportunities I'm looking at, so I'm going to show you those right now. Then we'll discuss crypto and then wrap up the video. I'm looking at CAD JPY for buys. I'm looking to simply buy at the support zone with a stop loss underneath the zone and a target at a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. So the trade might end up looking something like this. Obviously the entry, the exact stop target, that'll all vary. I call that here in my Discord server. I'll put a link in the description again so you can join my Discord server if you just want to follow all my exact trades. I send the analysis and the results out here in the free Telegram. You should be in here. I got 50,000 members in here that have built up over the past few years doing this. It's been like almost a decade. It's been like 7.5 years since I've been running that free Telegram channel. So crazy. Started it in summer of 2018. And if these work out, I'll make a nice little healthy profit. And if they don't, well, we're going to have to hope that CAD JPY works out. Another one is GBP JPY. So I think this is an amazing setup right now. Just from a risk structure, it's a very clearly defined support resistance zone. Price has respected this zone as support multiple times. We did have this little liquidity sweep through the zone down here. You know, it is what it is. But for the most part, this zone has been respected 1, 2, looks like 3 times, then 4, 5. I just think we might get a little bit of a bounce. What will the trade look like? Something like this. An entry down here, a good entry inside the zone, a stop loss just past the zone, and a target of a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. Cool part about trading this way with support resistance on the higher time frames, like the daily, you know, sometimes weekly, sometimes 4 hour, but the 4 hour, daily, weekly, is that you just have to enter your trades at the zones, put a stop past it, and put a target at least a 1-to-1. And once you get a little bit more experience, you can start holding your winners a little bit longer, 1 to 1.5, 1 to 2, perhaps even further, if you're really convinced that the price might go in one direction. This is what this might work. Very, very simple, straightforward, same stuff over and over again. So we will see if those set up. We will see how these GBP pair, the GBP CAD pair plays out and AED CAD plays out. We just hit the Asian session about an hour ago, so we'll see what happens. So that's those trades. Now EuroGBP, I'm not looking for anything now. None of these trades I'm looking for anything. I've literally named it meh here on my actual trading view watch list thing. And I don't really see anything on these right now. I've got some alerts set. I've got some stuff going. But there's nothing that I really see that gets me too excited at this present moment. So for now, I'm just going to be waiting and just chilling and seeing if there's, you know, anything that gets set up later in the week. So now we have crypto. Crypto's done very well today. We're going to take a little update to my portfolio here. So here's my Coinbase portfolio where I bought these. I'm going to refresh this page here. We're going to see what it's at. So 1.63 million. So we're up, I'm up about $30,000 today. And here's my current position. So I've already discussed a lot of these positions in the past few recap videos. I've done outlook and recap videos showing these trades I've taken. I don't really see anything in here that needs to be changed, so I'm just going to keep holding. Solana's looking good, average price of around 198. And if this goes up to the previous high, I'll make, what, 15%? Let's see what the actual percentage might be. So from 198 up here to the highs, it'll be like a, so 25%. Gain. Now, this was a pretty easy trade. As you know, I just used daily support resistance levels. This was the zone that I used. A little bit sloppy here because we had price dipping pretty far here into this zone right here. But we do have it as resistance a couple times, support 1, 2, 3 times, broke below, found resistance 1, 2, 3 times, 1, 2, 3, depending on what you'll count right here, and then it broke above. Now it's come back to test the support. We do have some nice higher lows forming. I don't know, I just thought it would be a good trade to take, so I bought there at that support zone. It went up. Same story for all these other pairs. They're all just buys based on the higher time frame structure. Link USD, I bought at this right here at this support zone, and that broke below. I was going to buy here at this next support zone here, but I ended up not doing that, and I just wanted to be very, very risk averse because these things can sometimes have huge crashes. I was thinking about buying at the next low. I didn't really have a plan, but for now I'm just still holding. The upside potential is still quite a bit. Covered this in all my recent videos. Algorand's up. I'm in this one. It's up almost 6% today. Shui, whatever you call this thing. This is up 7% today. I'll probably be holding until at least these previous highs, so another like 26% gain. That'd be cool. I'll make an extra $25,000 from whatever the current value is at right now. I'm in Cardano. That's up 4%, and I'm up on Uniswap. I have a $180,000 position that's up 5%. Uniswap, I'm going to be holding from right here to at least all these highs up here. That's a 50% gain. That would mean that if Uniswap does get back to these recent highs we were at just in August, right? This is like a month and a half ago because we're just on the 1st of October today. If we get there, that'll be 50% gain on how much? $180,000. So you do the math. According to my calculations, it's going to be about a $90,000 profit. That would be really cool, making $90,000 on Uniswap. It'd be even cool if I could have another profitable Forex week too. I had made $200,000 in profit. I had lost at one point. I was down to I think I lost $80,000, and now I'm up a little bit, and now currently just sitting at, a small loss on the day and about 40K loss this week. I only need a couple trades to work out, and I only need a small win streak with a couple trades working out, because since I make more on my winners than I lose on my losers on average, I always come out and profit, long term, generally speaking. You can't look at it day to day. You can't look at it week to week, and oftentimes you can't even look at it month to month. You have to look on an annual basis. Does someone make a little more than they lose with this, just buying and selling at support resistance on the higher time frames, managing risk, ensuring my winners are a little bit bigger than my losses, and not wiping out all my trading capital? I usually come out on top a little bit. So I might come out on top 200, 300, 400K this year in FX. Crypto, I've already made over $2.5 million this year in crypto. And then let's not even get started on stocks. The S&P 500 continues to just go up and up and up. My stock trading strategy is very simple. I buy and hold the S&P 500. That's 90% of the portfolio of my capital allocated to stocks. And I have 10% sitting in cash just so I can buy the dips in the S&P. SPDR 500 ETF in case it dips. Then I just trim it if it pops. So that's it. I'm looking to get into Avalanche, maybe Doge, though I find it hilarious to even consider getting into Doge. Ethereum, I think, is way too overvalued. I just watch it. XRP, I don't want to participate in it. For some reason, I just get weird feelings about XRP. It's got way too many eyeballs, way too many regulatory authorities on them. And then, of course, Bitcoin, the OG chart, as she rockets up today off these recent lows, about 8% the last week or so. So these are all looking really good. We're going to be putting our eyes on AUD CAD and GBP CAD for FX trades right now, and the rest of these little crypto tokens. We're having a nice little bull run today. I posted this here on the Telegram channel that these were up nicely earlier today, this morning. Probably, what was this, around 9:22 a.m. And I've also said that if all these work out, then what I will be doing is I will be going and buying a purple Lamborghini Urus Performante. And so we will see how that works. Most of you guys here in the Telegram voted on the poll, so the purple was the best color. I think purple's the best color. It's just really hard to find one in that spec, so I might have to get a really nice wrap. The first thing is just trying to find a Lamborghini or Urus Performante here in Dallas-Fort Worth area. Really hard to find. I think there's only one or two of them for sale right now. Really hard to come by. So if these trades work out, I'll be getting that. Just last month alone from Solana, I made like $650,000. From Forex trading, I made $170,000. It's been kind of insane to pull almost $1 million in a month, because if you count stocks going up, I made probably another like 40 or 50 grand, probably like 30, or like 30, 40 for their 40 grand. That's pretty crazy. That's a $850,000 month last month in total from FX and crypto and stocks. That's absolutely bonkers. I don't think you realize how bonkers that is. Most of my profits in crypto just came from Solana going up. As you guys know, I'd called it in the Telegram. I had a huge $2 million position, average price of about 180. So it was down here before it broke out. And this was in August. You can see towards midway through the month in August, this thing ended up ripping up here 40%. And I sold at around 240. So 34, 35% gain. That was a pretty nuts position. So with that being said, we're going to see where the crypto market goes, where the stock market goes, and then mainly as is tied to my ego, we're going to see where the Forex market goes. If you liked this video, that is so cool. I'm glad that you liked the video. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.